Hi, my name is Angus, and I'm going to share my HCDE Student Lounge User Research Report with you. HCDE Student Lounge is on the fourth floor of the City Hall. As you can see from the map, it is next to the Husky Union Building. It is centrally located at the University of Washington Seattle campus. Two images next to the map are pictures of the Student Lounge. The Student Lounge is exclusive to HCDE students, and it requires a dual code for entry. It opens 24/7. However, non-HCDE students are allowed to use the space during its regular business hours from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'm interested in researching HCDE Student Lounge because I think there are lack of understanding of the space's usage and its users. Also, I have seen many HCDE students spend a substantial amount of time in the lounge. Therefore, we can improve the HCDE student satisfaction rate if the lounge becomes a better place. The purpose of the research was to understand user behaviors in the HCDE student lounge. My goal was to propose design solutions based on findings from the research. And I have three questions I want to explore. First, what do people do in the lounge? Second, what frustrates people in the lounge? Third, why do people use a lounge? Is there anything special about it? Katie Bass, a researcher once studied the student lounge, said that student lounge brings a huge sense of community to the campus, and it agrees with my findings that I will talk about later. My target audience were HCDE undergraduate students who frequent the student lounge. By frequent, I mean people who use the lounge for more than 2 times a week. And I think that frequent users can provide better feedbacks. The research consists of three parts. First, I did three 30-minute pure observation to find out the lounge environment, demographics, and common user behaviors. Second, I did three one-on-one semi-structured interviews to gather details of user behaviors and to understand users' emotions, opinions, and values. Third, I conducted a survey to verify my findings from a few studies and interviews. Also, I want to see if my findings can generalize to general population. The result of the research could be useful for researchers who study student lounges, advocates who want to build student lounges for their own campuses, and designers who want to build student lounge or want to improve student lounge experiences. I have three key findings. First, the student lounge is a popular and a good place for socializing. The theme appeared in field studies, user interviews, and survey results. I observed that people talk about food, and one participant said in the interview that the lounge is a place to meet upperclassmen and a good starting place to be more involved in HCDE community. Furthermore, from the survey, 90% of the participants reported that hang out with friends is a common activity in the lounge. As you can see from the graph, hang out with friends and kill time between classes ranked high on the frequency score. The higher the frequency score, the more frequent people conduct such activity in the lounge. This finding is important to the users because it means that users can use the lounge to make friends and possibly extend those friendships into future career networks. The lounge is a great place for HCDE community to build friendships and extend personal networks. So we should utilize this feature and hold social events in the lounge. For example, we can invite professionals from the UX industry to have UX career Q&A sessions. They will help HCDE students to connect with people in the industry and learn more about what to expect and how to prepare for UX careers. The second key finding is that the lounge is not a desirable study place. The theme appeared in both user interviews and surveys. For example, participant A said that studying in the student lounge is kind of illogical. Also, participant B said that it can get too loud during the busy time. Also, participant B said that he cannot focus on study because of ongoing social activities. The survey result also proved that the lounge is not an ideal place for study. The ideal score for study is 29. It is lower than all popular activities in the lounge. For example, hang out with friends and kill time between classes. This result is important for students because it can inform students that the lounge is not a good place for study. So if they want to study more efficiently, they should not go to lounge. I think we should define the function of the student lounge more clearly. It is not a good place for study, but a great place for socializing. Therefore, we can inform students about this fact. Alternatively, we can use the noise meter to find out the patterns of the noise level in the lounge regards to the time of the day and share this pattern with the students. So if students really want to use a lounge for study, they can come to lounge while the noise level is more likely to be low. My third finding is that the student lounge has limited seats and space. This thing appeared in both user interviews and the surveys. For example, one user said that there's not enough space to do everything. It can fit maybe 15 to 20 people comfortably before it's overflowing. From the survey, I also found words like limited seating, crowded, too small, repeat in users' responses. This result is important to users. After we inform users about limited seating and space, they'll expect to face this issue and become less frustrated when they cannot find seats in the lounge. My recommendation to alleviate the issue of limited seats and space is to replace the printer with more tables and seats. From the survey results, you can see that none of the participants has ever used a printer in the lounge. It does not make sense to keep the printer there while the major users of the lounge do not use it at all. And we can expect to increase the maximum occupancy rate of the lounge after removing the printer. My next step will be to find out reasons behind the limited seats and space. My guess is that the lounge was designed before the ACDE department increased the number of undergraduates. Now we have 2 times students as before. It might cause current students complain about the limited space in the lounge. Also, I did not get the data from infrequent users of student lounge. It will be interesting to learn why some people do not frequent the lounge. Lastly, for more complete and non-biased results, I need to conduct surveys with more people. Overall, the research went well. I have built good relationships with participants, and they are willing to answer more questions even after the interview ended. Also, I have gathered rich qualitative and quantitative data to make interesting discoveries. In the future, I would conduct pilot studies before the real ones, so I become more comfortable and confident during the real sessions. Also, I want to take more classes to practice my interview skills. The user research is a tough but a very rewarding experience. I have learned a lot about the student lounge and discovered things that surprised me. For example, people use the student lounge a lot for study, but it's actually not a good place for it. And that's my presentation. Thank you for watching.